Today I will take the fourth topic in your IMT installation, maintenance and testing, that is earthing. The earthing, in this we have to discuss the this is topic number 3 in case of installation testing. It is topic number 3. Installation testing, in which the earthing is an important type of topic, in which today I take this particular topic in this installation, maintenance and testing, that is earthing. Reason of earthing, then earthing system, earth lead and its size, then permissible earth resistance for different installations, then improvement of earth resistance, double earthing and earth resistance measurement, rules for earthing. So these are the content of topic number 3 in IMT. So earthing is important for electrical installation, starting from low voltage to high voltage and ultra high voltage. Normally earthing carried out in low voltage system with the help of pipe earthing and plate earthing. Plate earthing and pipe earthing drawing you have already discussed in double ED course, that is electrical engineering drawing. So all the dimensions of the plate and pipe which is required for pipe and plate earthing, it is all given in the drawing. So you can just go through those drawing and get the dimensions. It is not necessary to repeat again the same dimension here. Of course, plate size, I can say there are two type of plates used. One is copper plate and another is GI plate. So this is size is 600 mm by 600 mm into 6.3 in case of GI plate, and thickness become 3.15 in case of copper plate. Size remains same, that is 600 by 600. Now why earthing is required in the system? In any electrical equipment, if due to failure of insulation, there is a chances of leakage current, and this leakage current is spread all over this equipment, and whatever the person who work on the system, there will be chances of shock to the person who is working in the system, and there is also some harm to the equipment due to this leakage current. So for effective earthing of this leakage current to earth, that is, we have to pass this leakage current to earth, we have to provided earthing in the system. So earthing in the system can be done with the help of number of process, and normally for low voltage it is earthing done by pipe earthing and plate earthing, while for the big substation or big power transformer installation, whether pole mounted or structure mounted substations, rating from 400 kV to down up to 33 by 11 kV, the different type of earthings are used. So in substation normally we use the plate earthing, and this plate earthing, it is prepared by GI plates, and which are grouted inside the earth at the depth of about 1.5 feet to 2 feet, and a mace is prepared there, and according to this mace there are different earth leads are radiated from the plate, and whenever number of equipments are installed in the substation, the body of each equipment is grounded with the help of this earth plate mace. So this is for the big substations. Now system ground or system earth, this is called system grounding or system earth when we do it by plate earthing. Then there is a underground that cables are there in which armoring is given. So with the help of that armoring we have to connect it to the earth lead, so the cable outer area can be earthed with the help of this armoring, and if there is any leakage current due to failure of insulation, then this particular current will pass to the earth. Then now if we discuss according to the syllabus content, the earthing is very vast field, but according to syllabus, that reason for earthing that I have given, main reason to earth the leakage current of the equipment, either it is used in domestic installation or in power installation in industries or in the substation. So leakage current should be effectively grounded to the earth, so that there is no hazard to the person who is working on the system or on the equipment. Now there are different type of earthing are to be provided. Pipe earthing and plate earthing, as I have told, it is for low voltage operation up to 440 volt system. We can give this type of earthing. Then other earthing is the type in which there is a solid earthing, in which a solid earth wire of about 8 gauge, it is directly connected to the earth with the help of a earthing pipe of 19 millimeter diameter, and this earth wire is directly connected to the earthing point of the equipment to the earthing electrode. So electrode size is normally 19 millimeter diameter, and the length it is about 1.8 meter. From 1.8 meter to 2.2 meter it may be, according to the situation of the site. Then there is a solid grounding is there, then resistance grounding is there, then Peterson coil earthing is there, then reactance earthing are there. So these are all the things provided between the earthing point of the equipment and the earthing arrangement provided in the ground. So if you have a solid earthing, then direct wire can be given to earth, that is of 8 SWG according to rating. And if it is to be done by the reactance earthing, then a coil is there which is connected in between the earthing point and the earthing electrode, that is called Peterson coil earthing. And resistance earthing is provided, so one resistance is connected between earth lead, that is the earthing point of the equipment, to the earthing point in the ground. So that is called the resistance earthing, and that is provided for limiting the earth fault current. So there are different type of earthing, mainly 4 to 5 type of earthing is there: pipe earthing, plate earthing, solid earthing, Peterson coil earthing, and resistance earthing, and reactance earthing. So these are the earthing provided in the different installation according to their requirement. Now earthing system what have the advantage, that neutral of the transformer, it is always we have to earth. So what is the reason, that whatever earth fault current is there, which is due to earth fault on the either on feeder or on the yard in the transformer, this particular neutral earthing will provide a solid way to go the high value of the fault current to the earth immediately, and this can protect the transformer as well as the associated equipment in the substation. So neutral earthing is very important, and neutral earthing is done start from 400 kV transformer to the 440 volt transformer, which is 11 by 440 volt in case of pole mounted substation. So this neutral grounding or neutral earthing is important, because phase to earth voltage or phase to neutral voltage is 230 volt, which is required for our domestic use, and 440 volt it is the line to line voltage or phase to phase voltage. So neutral earthing in the transformer, it is required start from 400 kV substation from top bottom up to pole mounted substation which is of 11 by 0.4 kV. So neutral winding, it is a provided in the transformer. The neutral winding means it is a star connected, secondary winding is there, primary is delta connected and secondary is star connected. So star point of the particular transformer secondary winding, it is grounded with the help of either of the method which I have told you, earthing ground with the help of resistance earthing, reactance earthing, Peterson coil earthing and solid earthing. So whatever type of earthing it is required, according to that we have to connect this earthing lead from the earth bolt to the earthing point in the earth. Normally in the big substation, as I have told you, the mesh of earthing plates of GI, it is a completely spread on the substation area yard or in the yard area of the substation. The mesh earthing is provided with the help of GI plate, and the location of the different equipments, they are installed according to the drawing given or specification given for that particular transformer, or the equipments to be provided for the protection purpose like CT, PT, breakers, isolators, etc. So every point of this body of every equipment, it should be grounded with the flat earthing, or that is mesh earthing provided in the substation. Now the another point in this, we have to discuss the earthing system. So earthing system, as I have told you, there are different type of earthing system, in which again I can repeat that plate earthing system, pipe earthing system, solid earthing system, Peterson coil earthing system, then a flat earthing system in the substation, then reactance earthing system, then resistance earthing system. These are all the type of system of earthing provided. The neutral grounding or the neutral earthing is necessary in case of the power transformer and distribution transformer. And for what reason we have to provide neutral grounding? It serves two purposes. One is to ground the transformer secondary side star connected winding to get the proper voltage between earth and neutral and phase, to get proper voltage between neutral and phase. Along with, whenever there is a earth fault is there in the system, then this neutral earthing provide the way for earthing of the fault current. Normally the magnitude of fault current is very large in case of the high voltage. So if this particular earthing, this particular fault current, if it is not grounded properly, then what happen? There will be chances of damage of the equipment, and this damage is very much costly, and mainly the transformer, which is the heart of the substation or heart of the system, if it is damaged, then it is a big economical loss to the system. So this fault current should be grounded as fast as possible. For this reason, the neutral grounding is always done in the transformer, whether it is of any voltage range. Now earth lead and its size. Normally earth lead, it is provided at the point where the earthing is to be done for the equipment. So earth lead, it is a lead or the wire, it is connected between earthing bolt given on the body of the equipment to the earth electrode. So earth lead, normally we use the 8 SWG GI wire either, or we can go, if in copper, then in the copper wire also we can use the 8 SWG or 10 SWG copper wire for this reason, to connect the earthing point of the equipment to the earth point of the system. So this is called earth lead. Earth lead basically a GI wire or copper wire, whatever you can select for the earthing. Copper wire, because it is having low resistance, so it can give the better earthing result in case of any system of earthing. And GI wire, it is because of iron, so naturally its resistance is more than copper, so earthing results are not much better as compared to copper. But from economical point of view, maximum earthing is done by the GI wire in case of low voltage. But if you go for the high voltage above 33 kV, then you have to go for the copper wire earthing. Now there are different values are there for the earthing resistance value for the purpose of earthing of different type of installation. So for 400 kV by 220 kV, the earthing resistance should be 0.3 ohm. Okay, you can note down it. 400 by 220 kV, you require earthing resistance of the range of 0.3 ohm. For 220 by 132 kV substation, you require earthing resistance of 0.5 ohm. Then for 132 by 33 kV substation, you require earthing resistance up to 0.6 ohm. Then if you go for 33 by 11 kV substation, then the earthing resistance should not exceed 1.2 ohm. Then if you go for the distribution transformer, then its earthing resistance maximum can be go for pole mounted substation, it is up to 3 ohm. In domestic installation, if we consider the earthing resistance, then it should be not greater than 6 ohm. So these are the values of the resistance for the different voltage and different type of substation in which the resistance value, earthing resistance value is required. So you can properly note down in form of table to give the rating of the voltage and what is the value of resistance it is given on other side. So this is normally asked in the exam a question that write down the resistance range for different type of installation. So normally according to voltage, I have given this value. So whatever this voltage you use either in substation or for industrial use, the resistance value will remain same for that range of voltage. So this is size of earthing lead I have discussed, and I have discussed the type of resistance value for the different type of installation. Then next point he has given permissible earth resistance for different installation. So this I have given just now. You start from 400 kV up to the domestic installation. This value varies from 0.3 ohm to 6 ohm. For different sections or different voltages, I have given the value. So this is you note down it. Then improvement of earth resistance, how it is to be done. Suppose we are not getting proper earth resistance value by measurement of earth resistance with the help of earth tester, and if it is not we are not getting the proper value of earthing resistance as required according to standard. So what we have to do, we have to go for digging the pit slightly more and put the charcoal and salt for proper filling of the gap inside the pit in which the earthing electrode is grouted. So by wetting it with the help of water and putting proper quantity of charcoal and salt, we can improve the earthing resistance of the system. Now in many cases when there is a hard rock is there or the stone area is there where you are not getting soil, normally black cotton soil or the black soil is very much suitable for earthing in the system, because this is having very low resistance. But if in case you are not getting black cotton soil or the black soil in the area, and if there is a stone area or area where more of the stony sections is available and you are not getting earth resistance according to standard, then you have to go for counterpise earthing. This counterpise earthing is that in the surrounding area you search the area where soil is available, and then you put the pit and a trench from the location of the equipment to the available soil in the area, and you run a earth wire from the substation or the equipment area to the area where soil is available. So this type of earthing is called counterpise earthing. Say for example, you have to install a particular equipment on the hard rock because of the location selected by you for the substation, and you are not getting 0.3 ohm resistance is recommended for 400 kV, then we have to go for the counterpise earthing. And in counterpise earthing we have to search the place near the substation where black cotton soil or the soil area is available. So you can run a total earthing wire from equipment to the soil area, and in the soil area you go for the plate earthing or flat earthing where you can get the resistance as required for the system, and then connect this particular earthing to the substation equipment with the help of GI wire. And the size of GI wire, as I have told you, it is normally 8 SWG standard wire gauge, and in case of some strength providing for the wire, then also 7 by 8 SWG wire also use. 7 by 8 SWG means 7 wire of 8 SWG, they are twisted together, and this can be used for the large transformer where earthing is required for of the strong nature in case of the mechanical strength. So these are the types of earthing we have discussed. Their values is also I have given. Now double earthing system he has also given in the your syllabus. So double earthing is done normally for those motors which are having their HP rating more than 100 HP. So they are provided double earthing. So in earthing system there are 2 points provided on the motor surface, or at the bottom of the motor there are 2 earthing terminals are there, and this double earthing can be provided by putting 2 different pits of the earthing pit of the copper earth plate or the GI earth plate, depending upon your requirement or your budget for that earthing. Normally this flat earthing by GI plate, it is costing about 5,000 to 6,000 rupees, and if the same earthing you have to carry it out by copper plate earthing, then its cost will be double, almost 12,000 to 13,000 rupees. So for saving up money, many people go for the GI plate earthing in the cheaper way for that. But whenever there is a no question of or choice of the compromise with the earthing resistance, if you are not getting proper earthing resistance as required for the system by this GI plate earthing, in that case you have to go for the copper plate earthing, and that will give the sufficient value or the exact value of resistance what you required. Similarly, double earthing also used on the towers. Whenever tower approaching the substation range, normally from the substation location up to 1.5 kilometer or up to 3 kilometers, we are using double earth wire structure tower for this purpose. So this double earth wire near the substation, it is used in 400 kV, 220 kV and 132 kV substation. So this provide whenever there is a earthing is to be done for the lightning stroke, then this lightning stroke fall on the earth wire first, because earth wire is the running on the top of the tower, and with the help of traveling wave it get the shape of traveling wave and travel towards the low resistance path, that is the up to the substation end. So for the sound protection of the substation equipment, we are normally provided double earthing on the towers which are near to the substation, and this particular distance we take up to 3 km range. Means 3 to 5 towers which are near to the substation, they are provided with the double earthing top, and double earthing wire will be joined there up to the gantry of the substation. So whenever there is a lightning stroke fall near the substation, either on the primary side or the secondary side, both the side we are using double earthing wire. So if suppose one earthing wire fail due to any reason, or it is break due to any reason, then no risk will be there, because second earth wire is in picture or it is in the circuit, so it can ground the earth fault current properly as required. So this double earthing is done either in case of the industrial installation of the transformer or drives or motors by providing the double earthing wire pit or the double earthing pit, and in case of substation, double earthing is provided with the help of towers. The tower will be having a double earth structure, and according to double earth structure, these towers are grounded with the help of 8 HWG GI wire. Their top wire run up to the ground of the ground level of the tower, and they are connected. Their earth volt is given on the bottom side of the tower on the stub side, and where this earth wire coming from the top, it is connected to that earth bolt, and from earth bolt with the help of earth lead, this is connected to the pit in which you are providing the earthing arrangement. So this can be help in the resistance earthing can be used for that, or the coil earthing can be used, that is Peterson coil earthing can be used, and we can easily protect the system by double earthing wire. So double earthing wire required in two cases: in higher HP motor in the industries, higher kVA capacity of transformer used in distribution, and double earthing used for the large substation which are above 132 kV up to 400 kV. So double earthing is a simple, you have to provide two earth wire in place of one earth wire, and the arrangements is accordingly done. Then earth resistance measurement. Now measurement of earth resistance, it can be done by a earth tester, and this earth tester, there is a separate practical topic is there for measurement of earth resistance. So there are 4 terminal earth earth tester we are using, in which there are 4 terminals are there, P1, P2 and C1, C2. So they are connected in such a way that a area of about 50 meters distance can be taken between the electrode connected to C1, C2 and P1, P2, and then with the help of the formula given that I will discuss in your practical session of the earth wire for soil resistance testing. With the help of that formula, you can find out the soil resistivity value and the soil resistance and resistance of the earth electrode. So this can be measured by our earth tester. This is normally available in the field, 3-point earth resistance or 3-terminal earth tester and 4-terminal earth tester. Normally 4-terminal earth tester are commonly used for measurement of the earthing resistance of the system. So this is the all about according to syllabus, whatever he has given in the syllabus, the points which I have again read. The reasons for earthing, as I have told you, for earthing of the leakage current of the equipment. Then earthing system, in which I have discussed type of earthing which are used apart from solid earthing to the coil earthing. Then earthing earth lead, I have given the size of the earth lead also, that which type of earth leads are used. earth lead normally use copper or aluminum, and a copper or GI and size is there 8 SWG, standard wire gauge, or 7 by 8 SWG in case of the big transformer substation, in which the transformer rating is in case of 100 MVA up to 500 MVA, 750 MVA. In that case, the earth lead of this type is used, that is 7 by 8 SWG wire. Then I have discussed the permissible resistance value for different type of installation, in which I have given you from 0.3 ohm to 6 ohm up to the domestic installation. We are using this value of the earth resistance. Then we have discussed the improvement of earth resistance. What is the process of the improvement of earth resistance? So mainly you go for the counterpise earthing, or in the earthing pit, if you are not getting proper earth resistance, then you have to watering of the earthing pit is done, or provide proper quantity of charcoal and salt in that pit, so the earthing resistance value can be improved. Then rules for earthing. Rules for earthing is simple, that for earthing rule, this is one must keep in mind that proper earthing should be provided to connect the earthing terminal of the equipment to the earthing lead, and from earthing lead to the earthing electrode. If this is done properly according to dimension, then it is coming under earthing rule. Second earthing rule is that always the star connected winding is there of any equipment. The star connected winding, the star point is always grounded with the help of proper wire of earthing lead, it is of copper or aluminum or GI. Aluminum also used, but aluminum because mechanical strength of aluminum is poor, so normally aluminum is not preferred for earthing wire, because there are chances of breaking of this earthing wire due to any mechanical stress. So normally we use copper earth wire or GI earth wire. So rules means size of the earthing electrode, it is coming under rule. Size of the earth plate to be used, it is coming under rule according to the dimensions given in standards. And then in the substation, if you are going for GI flat earthing or mesh earthing, in which you have to do that mesh for the mesh is just laid inside the substation yard, and at different point of the mesh you provide the earthing electrode at the different points where you have to install the equipment, and from this earthing electrode point you connect the earthing point of the equipment to the earthing electrode, so that it is properly earthed, and the whole substation getting the same value of earth resistance as of the mesh of the earthing plates. So this type of earthing normally used according to the voltage range of the system, which varies from 440 volt to 400 kV as per the requirement of the voltage in the system. So in this particular topic I have discussed all the points starting from the reasons for earthing to the rules of the earthing. So this is all for today. You should catch the drawing of this. I will send the drawing of the earthing mates to you, and pipe earthing and plate earthing you have already done in the double ED. So that drawing I need not to repeat. That drawing you should take from the double ED sketchbook, and drawing for the earthing mate for substation, that I will give you on your WhatsApp number or WhatsApp group. So that drawing you can take, that is called flat earthing. These are the GI flat of the size of 6.3 millimeter thickness and size of this available in length, say 1 meter length, 2 meter length, and the width is maximum up to 3 centimeter to 10 centimeter width is available for these flates. So according to the requirement, we can select the type of flate, that GI flate, and this will be done for the large substation. The copper flate also used, but copper flate it become very costly, very costly compared to GI. So it will unnecessarily increase the cost of the substation. So normally we use the GI flate earthing for the substation. And in other case in which the individual equipment is to be earthed properly, then we use the solid earthing, we use the coil earthing, we use the reactance earthing, we use the Peterson coil earthing as per the requirement. The main purpose of the earthing for the high voltage substation, it is that whatever earth fault is there, it is happen on the line or on the substation, that earth fault current get a very easy or the controlled or low resistance earth path for grounding of this earth fault current, so that damage to the system it can be avoided by proper earthing in the system. So this is the chapter in which these all points given in the chapter I have finished, and you should watch this video properly, and whatever I have given you in my speech, that you take the note of it. And drawing, as I have told you, it is available with you for pipe earthing and plate earthing, that you take from EED, and plate earthing which is used for the substation, that drawing I will provide you on WhatsApp group. So this finishes your the topic number 3 of the IMT, that is earthing. Okay, next time we will take another topic number 4, that is insulation testing and maintenance. So this is all for today. Thank you.